for today. We're hoping that as you leave today, we have our takeout girl here on the side. We're hoping to have a little fun with some movies, reimagined movie posters. Not trying to get you to go see any of these movies. They were just a little fun for us to have on the side. But we are hoping that you will walk away with at least three great ideas for maintaining and sustaining great relationships with parents in these ever-changing times, and have a sense of your first steps in transitioning back to face-to-face interactions with families if you haven't already done so, and reflect on elements of successful interactions from a distance, and what you'll do to pivot back if necessary. So a lot of the content is going to be generated from this group of people here. Breanne and I are just here to make all those great ideas come out, and we'll move along. Next slide. And just a simple fast and loose agenda, as Breanne and I agreed upon. We want to just have a quick inclusion activity. We're going to try breakout rooms. We know some of you haven't maybe had the best of luck with some breakout rooms, but we're going to try it and see how it goes. If it works, we'll keep doing some. If it doesn't, we'll reconfigure and move along, but just keeping these conversations going. Our first welcome and inclusion will be in pairs, then the next two will be in small groups, and then we'll come together for a harvest of the ideas and a wrap up at the end. Next slide. So for our inclusion today, we're going to give you about 6 minutes with a partner in a breakout room, and we're going to ask you to share this kind of stoplight concept for some things that have happened or you've experienced with the pandemic and thinking about moving forward. As far as things you'll stop with a red light, we're going to ask if you could share one thing you did before the pandemic that you will stop doing even when normalcy returns. As far as yellow, being more cautious, what's one thing that you will do what's one thing you will be more cautious about in returning to pre-pandemic activity? And one thing you will start doing, going back to more typical interactions that maybe you didn't do before. So just asking for those reflections. We're going to give you if each person can have about 3 minutes to share. We will pop these prompts in the chat, hopefully before you go. Anyone got that, or would you guys like me to do that? Just Rachel and Breanne, get those in there. And if you have any questions, we'll navigate that from the chat. So you'll find a partner, we'll get you matched up. And if you
guys... Just to reiterate what she said, we're going to do 6 minutes, so 3 minutes each, and then we'll get a 60-second buffer. And you're going to have just 2 people in the room each. So we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully it goes well. All right.
Do we have the pop IDs are in the chat?
Let me just stop sharing really quick so we can make sure that we have this.
All
right. I think she's getting it.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay.
Let's see if that works. There we go. 3 things are in the chat. All right, everyone. We'll beam you back in about 6 minutes. So Breanne, I see a lot of people not in rooms. How do we want to?
I did not get set to a room.
Okay.
I'm not in a room.
And I'm not sure why I'm up here twice.
Well, you're just so popular. We just want you.
I'm going to just start putting people in rooms.
Thank you.
It's supposed to be automatic, but you know how that goes.
And Holly's on there twice, so let's make sure she's not doubled up.
Oh, I did not see that. Okay. I wonder.
And I left a room, so
okay.
let's send Nicole. Send Nicole in room 6 somewhere else. maybe with another.
I'm not sure why some people are having a hard time joining.
I
I think
can't-
it's just they're coming and going. I think it might have something to do with the platform. We'll see.
Yeah, I left my room because my partner was inactive, but I don't know if and that may be because of technical difficulties as well.
I think we should probably abandon this idea.
I think you're right. I see people coming back, and it's a little.
So I'm just going to close all the rooms, and then we'll just pivot because I don't think this is going to work out.
Breanne.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Ashley.
Okay. Hi, this is Ashley Ford. So I realized that part of my issue might be because I am logged in on my phone and on my computer, and I apologize for that, but I am trying. I had to go and pick up my boys from piano, so I stayed logged into my computer, so it's an easy transition. And that is probably my problem. So I don't know if I was the person that was inactive and it was my computer.
There's quite a few people who are on here twice. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
We just have about another couple of minutes, but I think I might just
Some people might be, and actually it might be working for them,
Yeah.
so I hate to cut them off midstream, so maybe we
can just chat here for a couple of minutes while we're waiting. How's everybody doing? Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Look at you, fancy. You look like Barbie.
Cool, thanks. Okay, well, if there's another me here, you can kick me out. Every time I go into the portal or the whatever it's called, it like automatically puts me places and then doesn't come up. And
It
so
says that you're in room 4. That's so weird.
But I'm here.
She is truly a miracle. She can be in 2 places at once.
Yeah, isn't that what we were all trying
We
to
should hire you.
Yeah, so I'm not in room 4. I don't know where I am, but it's nice to see both of you.
Yes. All right. Here we go. We have 1 minute left.
All right, they're gonna start coming back.
60 seconds. Okay, so I'm not sharing my screen right now because it's recording. It's not letting me minimize some of my windows. So I'm not sure if there's anything else that we need to copy. You might need to do that, Missy. Okay.
I can do that. I think we should be okay though.
All right, I'm gonna present this so that we can see what we were supposed to do.
All right, do you want to lead the group then in our next discussion, Breanne? The next cherry picking of the ideas from this.
Yes. So let's see here. Everybody's coming back now. Hi, Heather. Hello. Hi, Angela, Cheryl. So we were going to talk about, here they come. Can you kick the other Holly out? I can try. Let's see.
There are 2 Hollies with 2 different last names though.
Pick out the one without the picture, please.
Okay. I think that one's gone though.
Like most of you don't have a picture. So if you want to turn your camera on, I'll know which one to pick out. Where? Yeah, I don't even see it.
I think it got kicked.
Here you are.
So my partner wasn't there either.
Sorry, Jen. So Missy and
That's
I were a
okay.
little concerned about how this would work. I think with the platform, it's not going to work. So we're just going to do it this way.
Okay.
I did post in the chat a link to join from Zoom directly if you're having a hard time with Feed Loop. But we're just going to talk. I mean, I think most of us probably know each other. I can't see everybody's face. So it's not going to be unlike most of the time that we're talking. We're talking about right now, one thing that you did before the pandemic that you will stop doing, even when normalcy returns. One thing you'll be more cautious about in returning to the pre-pandemic activity. And one thing you will start doing when going back to more typical interactions. And I know some of you didn't get a chance to chat with a partner, but we want to just maybe talk about one or two things that if you had a good conversation you want to share. Anybody? Go ahead and feel free to speak up.
Hi guys, I'll share. I was with Jessica from Ingham, so my next door neighbor. And we really just talked about, I guess, yeah, we are definitely cautious just in general about returning. And I don't think anybody knows what that's going to actually look like, because as soon as things seem like they're opening up, they seem like they're closing back down again. But we both really, we're just kind of focusing on continuing, you know, to really work to just meet parents where they are. We've all, I think, found new ways to connect and reach out that we hadn't before. And it's been kind of amazing to see how many more people we've been able to connect with than we had in the past. And I know everyone's really anxious to get back to in person, but I got to say, I don't know that I am, because I mean, 3 families coming to an in-person thing, you know, versus 150 families participating in programming that you're offering online. Like, it kind of seems like a really imbalanced thing. So that's kind of where we were at. We didn't have too much. I mean, the 6 minutes, it's never enough time, right, you guys? No matter how much time it is.
I know the feeling for sure. Thank you. Jen, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just have mixed emotions about it. We went into a quarterly community fair kind of setup in Jackson. We had waning participation in meetings as well. Who wants to go to another meeting? Families are busy. But we took the opportunity to bring community resources out of their sometimes scary and difficult to get to offices and brought them into a fun, relaxed, there's food, fair type atmosphere. We brought fire trucks from the community out and brought them into a great big parking lot on the fairgrounds and let the kids meet the officers and climb on the rigs and just different themes and different ideas. And I'm a big fan of the community fair concept, all the crafts that we've done and all the people we've connected with to actually build a relationship with, because that's where I think like we're knocking it home is the relationship building. And that I miss, and I don't know how to recreate without face-to-face. So we're doing the best we can. By all means, I listened to the young lady who just spoke right in front of me, and I can't see her face or her name, but I listened. Yes, thank you. I listened to her yesterday, I think, talking about programs that she's doing, and I was thrilled. So definitely learning a lot and willing to try some new strategies.
Thanks, Jen. I think to your point, I want to make, we're trying to balance how we're comfortable doing things and how things were successful with how people feel now. And they may never feel the same that they did before. They may feel even like way this way, way that way. So I'm just kind of wondering if you've had that conversation with your parents, like how are you gathering that info? So that's a question. So we had planned to do a couple breakouts, but we decided to test the first one and see how it went. And it kind of, I don't know, how do you think it went using the reactions? Thumbs up, it went well for you. Thumbs down, it did not go well. It was a little, we had some technical difficulties is what I'm worried about. So we could try one more time and do larger groups, or we can just chat together. Missy, do you have an opinion?
Well, I think I'm not seeing, I only saw 2 positive reactions from using the little reactions at the bottom of your window. So I'm thinking there may not have been the most positive experience with that. There's not a room for a negative thumbs down either on the reaction. So
Oh.
positive or nothing.
Yeah, I had to see you. I apologize. I didn't know that. And Holly said that it's possible when you're entering through feed loop that you can't access all of Zoom's controls. I did not know that. So
I think we should just chat together then, as
okay.
Cheryl suggested. Good idea. Let's just keep this conversation going. Feel free to, show yourself on camera. So if you're comfortable, we'd love to have you be part of the conversation. So we'll just continue to guide this along. We were just reflecting on our stoplight kind of concept that we wanted you to comment on. But I think in the interest of time, it's 2:00 already. We're going to move into our next slide, which was really about sharing how the considerations that your GSP, we have again reinvented movie posters, Sound of Music. Maybe you're feeling free out and running in the hills, or maybe it's really scary, Close Encounters. What is it for you, and what considerations, considering your area, how are you considering going back, or how you will go back face to face when the time comes? So I guess we could put us all back together to know our prompt, and tell us about how you're thinking about going back.
We're going to encourage CDC and health department guidelines with spacing, looking for opportunities to meet in larger gathering areas, and the opportunities we took for the community fair also help spread us out. So I'm real anxious to get back to that, smaller groups of people working kind of close together, but managing that space. Hand washing and hand sanitizing will be, the new norm at every station, at every table, at every turn, and encouraging people comfortable wearing masks to do so, and encouraging safe, behaviors moving forward.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah.
I think for us in Eaton County, same, following CDC recommendations. We've been doing we've been doing some, outdoor stuff. Yeah, again, at fairs, GSRP registration events, parents in the park. And that's felt good. Like, it's felt great, right? To be out and talking to people and interacting. I don't know about everybody else, but I still have those moments where I'm standing there 3 feet away from someone chatting for an extended period of time, and I go, I wonder if they're vaccinated. And then you kind of just gotta, we don't know, right? We don't know, and we have to just hope it's going to be okay. I don't actually see us transitioning to doing much in-person stuff. Our families have not expressed that they're comfortable with it. We've been doing a lot of surveys, and for most of them, it's until their kids are old enough to be vaccinated. They're just, I think, on top of school and everything else, it's like we can only handle so much risk, and we really want them back in school, which we all do. And that's kind of what we're hearing. So we're going to stay outside as long as we can and encourage everybody to buy snow pants and keep doing it in the winter.
There's no bad weather. Is just bad clothes? Is that what the saying is? Snow pant meetings.
I fully, Breanne, it took me a long time until my kid was probably 10. But once I fully got on board with that, it's true. Like, if you're appropriately dressed for the weather, there's no bad weather.
So I love that, the creativity about being outside is really something to grab onto, and so many people have. Does anyone else have other creative ideas for engaging families outdoors without, regardless of the type of weather that we're having?
We did do outdoors last winter for intergenerational play groups. So when we couldn't see our grand friends inside the assisted living, the kids were outside, and really the only time it was horrible, even with snow pants, was in February was like -3 that day and a bad wind chill. So other than that, you know, it worked out well, and all the families still showed up on the super cold day. So I think Marnie's right. Like, we can definitely stay outside. In my county, the issue I'm having is that I don't really want to be in person, and all of my families want to be in person, and none of them are vaccinated. So like, that's really an exciting time.
Yeah. Holly, that's a great point. And that vaccination, have you had to deal with that? Have you had to confront vaccination? Have you had to address it with your families? And if you have, and this is to anybody really, how have you broached it?
We've actually been part of a video series through our health department and trusted advisor work, where we've been working with a local production company, and we've been helping to create videos telling our stories, sharing concerns and fears and rumors and things like that. So I feel like we've taken a real proactive step in putting our faces, you know, Great Start families and trusted advisors' faces on being proud of what they're doing to be part, you know, of the solution. But there's a lot of families. I don't want to discount anyone's opinion on it. Everybody's got a place, you know, to feel comfortable about what they're doing to protect themselves and their family. And that's a really tough space to be in, because you want to give everybody, and especially those kiddos, especially the littles, every opportunity to be part of the community. And I don't want anybody wearing some kind of identifying mark, you know, and feeling different in front of others. So we've got to find some opportunities to be able to continue all this great work. Holly, I hear you like loud and clear, but it's really tough.
I hear a lot of talking about like what events we're doing and things like that, but I'm just wondering, what does engagement look like to you? I mean, how do you even come to the idea that you're going to have an event? Like, where does that come from for you? Is that something that you do on your own? Is it something you talk about with your families? Because I think that, you know, we need to remember, I think we all know that relationships are the basis of everything, and getting to know people, like, we can gather the data. Okay, we know how many people there are, but how do we translate that data to relationships with people and talking to them about what they want to do and what they're comfortable with, and how that translates into getting a successful event, and what does it mean to be successful? Has that changed for anybody? Maybe the way that you're inviting people, maybe the way that the conversation goes. Jessica says she's been reaching out more on Facebook. I mean, you may not see these people face to face. You probably haven't seen them and it could be in a year. So how is that looking for you? I will say, you know, personally in Livingston, that it's been very helpful that we were able to do I think a strengthening families assessment last year, and we got everybody together and we did it virtually, and it really helped us come together about what we wanted to do, not just me, not just Holly, not just what Great Start Livingston wants to do. What do the parents in this community want to do? What is important to them? And they all agreed. We voted, you know how the process goes. And Holly and I will reach out pretty often about checking in on the goals. Like, here's the next step. Like, what do you want to do? And I think getting that buy-in really helps. Does anybody else have any success in that area?
So Breanne, I don't have any success, but I'm curious, like, when you say that, getting that buy-in from the parents, like, who's buy-in and how many?
Excuse me.
You know, I mean, we obviously have, each of us have thousands of parents in our county. So are we talking about like the 3 that are willing to have a conversation? Or are we talking about, you know, getting 100? It's just, and for me, you guys, I've never done this work outside of the pandemic. Like I've only done this work in a pandemic. So I don't have, and I came into it with no parent coalition. I have one person, like, you know, who everyone else was the former liaison's friends for the most part. And that's great, but they went away with her and that's totally fine. And I've been able to pull people into the work somewhat, but again, not being able to do it in person. So I hear a lot of people talk about, getting the buy-in from the parents, but I'm just curious, like, what does that look like for you? What do you consider the parents? Like I can send out a survey to, 700 families and get some really, really good data, but that's different than having an actual like conversation, So.
Sure. That's an excellent point. Growing your coalition and, like Holly says, developing a strong core group of parents is very beneficial. And we are lucky enough that we have a group. It's not gigantic. It's probably 10 people, but they've been together with us for at least a couple years. And there is turnover, and that's to be expected. I think that if you can establish that, then they can help guide what you do in every step of the way. And I'm not sure what I would say to do in your situation exactly. Do you know when the last time you had an assessment was?
So they did a Strengthening Family Assessment, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. But again, I'm there from what I can tell, looking at like those notes and stuff, that compromised like 5 families.
Sure.
And 3 of them being like all related. So, I mean, when I think about the bigger picture, the big work of connecting with and like serving all the families in my community. Right. And I do absolutely, like, the relationships are so important, but how do we, I don't know. Like, I'm definitely finding there's a lot of ways to connect, and it doesn't always have to be a strong, like, interpersonal relationship. If I have families that I'm regularly touching and they're getting good information from me and they're reporting back that's having a positive impact, like, that almost feels to me more impactful than if I had 3 or 4 families that were like really strongly participating in the coalition. Does that make sense? I'm totally taking this way off topic, you guys, too. I'm sorry.
Can I speak to that a little bit? We kind of have a core group of parents. I'm from St. Clair County. I'm Jen Gunderson. We have that core group of parents that we utilize for a lot of those conversations about what we're going to do and how we're moving our work plan forward and how we're changing our work plan, given that it's a living document. Things that we started before the pandemic don't necessarily work now in the pandemic. So some of those core parents and I have done the adjusting and changing of that and moving it forward. I feel like those core parents are the ones that help us with that, but then they're also the ones that are reaching out to that broader reach, where they're sharing information with that broader reach of parents. So I have a core group, maybe it's like about 5 to 8 parents that are doing a lot of the work. And maybe 2 or 3 or 4 that help on a very small scale, regular basis. And I can call them almost anytime and ask for input, ask for help, ask for their voice, their opinions. And then as a whole, that group is reaching out to, parents countywide, where we're trying to get information out there to try to get a whole county of people to help out with things sometimes can be very difficult. Parents are really busy. They're stretched really thin. Some parents only have a certain skill set. So they're not comfortable speaking in big groups. So that's a little bit different for a lot of people. So I kind of pull from the strengths that each of our different core members have and utilize them more on a smaller basis to help with the work. We've certainly done some reevaluating, and we're still continuing to do that, trying to get back in person, because the way we did things before, I it's just not going to work this year. So again, that smaller group, we've done surveys on our big group of parents and said, how do you want to move forward? They're all tired of Zoom. They really want to be in person. Some are vaccinated, some aren't. The room that we utilized before was smaller. So we're looking at bigger venues, bigger space. Obviously, funding is an issue, but like right now we're utilizing the weather. So our goal is for our next meeting to be outdoors and for the kids to be in a different section outdoors with childcare, keeping, you know, that group a little bit separate from us. That's our plan for now. But, you know, I don't think, obviously, at least we might not be capable of doing that into the winter. Maybe me. But that's what we're moving towards right now. I don't know if that helped answer any of your questions, but
It does. Thank you so much, Jen.
we're doing it.
Well, thanks everyone. I think that kind of spurs us into our next slide topic, just to steer our discussion a little bit to make sure we can leave with all of the things we were hoping for today. But that is looking at, just as our group next, if you're personally, we're looking at the net. So this kind of has to do with what are we, your ideas for continuing and to use these virtual and distance tools and interactions. Obviously, we have to keep both of these things in mind. We know face-to-face interactions are critical, but we also know that we have to kind of keep up with some of these pieces that are working digitally. I guess I'll start. We started a digital playgroup registration. There have been a few playgroups who've had outdoor time and some that have had inside time, and it's worked very well to switch our registration over to digital, using Google Forms, using some electronic signups, and helping with data capture. So that's one of the things we plan to keep and use within our collaborative. What are you guys thinking about?
Missy, I'll just echo that I love an online registration because every single person who registers online, I now have them. Like I have their email address, I have their phone number. They've told me which way they prefer to be contacted. And I came into this with no people, on like my email contact list, and I have almost 700 families now. And that's huge, right? And maybe again, at the end of the day, like a small percentage of those like actively participate in any programming, like beyond a one-time thing, but they're still there and I can still send them information and I can still make sure that, we're reaching out. So yeah, I definitely echo that online registration for everything. Like it's just such an easy way to get people in your contact list.
And I have to confess too, we talked about switching to digital before the pandemic, and that seemed like way too big of a step. But really the pandemic has accelerated people's willingness to offer that data, get those spots that might be, coveted and few and far between for socialization opportunities. So glad it's worked for you too, Marnie. And don't fear, those 750 people, they are there. They just don't look the way you're used to, and smiling at them and shaking their hands. So you're doing great. Other ideas?
I was just going to chime in, and this, I hate to be like somewhat negative, Nancy, but I've kind of had the opposite experience because I too started it during the pandemic. So all of my experiences have been virtual with the side of few events. However, I do all of like my parent coalition meetings and everything with a Google form sign up, and families just stopped signing up that way. I have like my regulars that just show up. They don't register on Google Forms anymore, even if I ask them. And they're showing up, so I don't want to hound them, And we did a big like Talking is Teaching launch event at our local drive-in where they stayed in their vehicles and they just drove through and stopped at several stations and picked up certain things, and each table like explained, what they got or whatever, and how they can utilize that to make those big learning and big learning experiences for their kids. And I had 24 families register. And when we posted it online on Facebook, if you didn't register, no big deal, come on out anyways. We serviced over 100 families. And most of the cars that came through, when I asked them, they were like, no, I didn't sign up. They just did it when they came through. So that's a big barrier for whatever reason for my families in our community. I don't know if it's intimidating or if it's just something that, you know, they just don't feel like doing. But we
if they don't have to, they're not going to. Like if they can just show up. So, I mean, the way I get people to register is that like they don't get the Zoom link until after they register, and then I send it to them. We've done drive-up events, so they don't get the full details of like the when and the where until they register, and then we send them those details. So, I mean, if that's something that's important to you, that's what's worked for us, is just like holding back that last key piece of information until we get that registration and then sending that to them.
I still do that for my Parent Coalition meetings. So families are just not signing up, new families. The other families are ones that regularly come, and they'll be like, hey, are you going to send me the link? So I already have their contact information. And sometimes I just know to send them the link because they will not register, but it's my regular Parent Coalition members that do that. But with the launch event, that was my director's doing. She posted on her personal Facebook and did that. But I still got all their information because in order to get through the line, they had to fill out the form with their phone number and their email. So.
And you could also do like a QR code at the event and have them just scan it instead of like taking paper stuff, and just do it on their phone in their car or something. Sometimes that's a little bit less data entry for you on the back end.
Yeah, I like that. And then it's less contact too. We're not passing pens back and forth. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I see that in the chat. QR code when they register, just is the least amount of info as possible. I think some of it is I don't know, just people don't like to commit to things until the last second. That's how my kids are. I don't know, you know, like if you guys have teenagers, you probably know what I'm talking about. They don't want to put anything in their calendar because they want to think something else great might pop up. So no commitments. So it's hard because you want to make everything super fun, but not everything can be that amazing. But these have all been really great ideas. We have about 20 minutes left. So if anybody has anything else in the next few minutes on this topic that they want to share, just any success stories in general about engagement, I think would be helpful. There's probably a lot of people here that are in the same boat, Marnie, that have never done this, you know, pre-pandemic. So don't feel alone.
I'm excited with the classrooms, all the registration going on right now, and the classrooms coming back together very, very soon, because that's a fantastic way to get in front of the parents, is to be part of that welcome back night or that welcome to school night, or, you know, whatever our different classrooms are doing throughout the community. They all invite me, and it's a spot for parents to stop and just get additional information that surrounds their kiddo. And I usually have a little bit of our swag with us, right? But that's a really, 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 really great way to get in front of families again, like the Head Start classrooms and the Policy Council through Head Start, and all the new families that are getting engaged with that school or that building are in one way, shape, or form going to be reachable, you know, this early school season. So that's a really positive time of year for me.
Thanks, Jen. I just want to share another thing that has been helpful, and because you had asked about buy-in, Marnie, that the topics that we do on a monthly basis are chosen by parents. So we're not just like, I think maybe they might like this and they might like this. And sometimes we do the presentations and sometimes we find an expert. And almost always when we have new parents, it's because they've come because they like the topic that we're talking about and they're curious about it. And sometimes you just have that one chance to hook them in and create that buy-in. And don't be afraid to call the parents on the phone and talk to them or text them and just say, hey, I haven't seen you. How are you doing? I would love for you to come. We're going to be talking about this month. You might really like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Breanne. We actually did what we called parent empowerment sessions, basically all this last year, kind of almost in lieu of our parent coalition sessions. So we did survey the community, like, what do you want to learn more about? We had speakers from MSU Extension and community mental health and all over come. And we had really good response some months. I mean, some months it was like 2 people, but some months we had 12, 15 families. So, I mean, we're definitely making those connections. We're making those contacts. It's just hard because it's can't shake someone's hand. You can't get in front of them. It's hard to engage people in that before and after conversation that you would usually have in a meeting. As soon as the meeting's over, everyone just like flees the Zoom room. And but yeah, absolutely. And moving forward this year, based on that participation, we'll definitely be doing some things a little bit differently and focusing on some certain areas that obviously folks were really interested in, like positive parenting and discipline issues. But yeah, so I definitely have found that to be a great strategy to use.
In different kinds of events, like others have mentioned. Yeah. And I think parent cafes is a really helpful thing to get more people in. So sometimes you have to, give the gift card or something to get people to come. But once they come, almost every single time, they're just blown away by how much they enjoy the time that they're spending. So speaking of swag, what are you all using to put your names on? Jessica, are you wondering like things that we're customizing with our name to give out?
We've had some super popular ones this year. Sunscreen sticks. For Imprint is an awesome, quick turnaround, easy to work with. They've got your logo. They can fulfill your need super quick. We did boxes of sidewalk chalk through them that we put our logo and our website and our phone numbers on. And we did sunscreen sticks. Very popular this year. And of course, hand sanitizer. I mean, who didn't do hand sanitizer this year? So yeah.
You said sunscreen what?
Was it sunscreen sticks, Jen?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It was it looked like a little container of deodorant. You popped the lid off and you rolled up the little stick of sunscreen, good for the cheeks, nose, shoulders, stuff like that. Not all over, but it was a sunscreen stick, so it looked like a little deodorant stick. And then we did hand sanitizer, of course, in the little itty bitty bottles, and we did the sidewalk chalk. So it was a small box with 4 sticks, good size sticks of sidewalk chalk. And they put our logo and website on the little box. And they shipped and hardly any of them were broken. It was incredible.
If you've been to any of our other networking meetings, you will know that Holly is giving away Yetis there. I think everybody's jealous of that. But I love what you said, quality over quantity. So if they're going to have it in their hand every time they go out, there's a conversation. And you can say, I don't know, what do you tell them when you get it? Please, here's your elevator speech, or can you give a quick?
Well, all of our parents got them at once in a gift bag. We made them really special. And so it was all of our parents, new and old, that had been, or grandparents, everybody on our family coalition. And so we just told them to just have it out and about while they're out, and they have really done that. I go to some of the parents, I'm sorry, it's George. I go to some of the kids' softball games or t-ball games. They're so funny. And I'll see them with their cups there and they meet other parents. So it's Yeah, it was pricey, but we bulk bought. So our trusted messengers get them as well, which our parents are trusted messengers of the Talking is Teaching. So it really is something that you start seeing in pictures and people on Zooms and everything. So I think that the payoff has been huge for us.
Holly, I know that you've talked about this before, but who did you have put the stickers on the cups? Like, did you order the cups and then send them? You put the stickers on yourself? Oh, where'd you get the stickers?
We use Sticker Mule because they have inexpensive stickers, and then but for like the kids' water bottles, which obviously we're not giving any kids Yetis, although parents have not shied away from asking me for them for like their cousin or their nephew or their kid. So, but we do have kid ones that are about $3 a piece, but they're still high quality. And so we get all the stickers. And so we have Sticker Mule. You just have to make sure their website's weird. And so I always have to go to Google, type in like waterproof or dishwasher safe stickers, because on their website, it won't like take you right there. And then they ship quickly, and yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Can you hold it up one more time, Holly? Oh my gosh, that's adorable. And that stays on in the dishwasher? Awesome.
Wow. And it goes all the way around the cup, or just on the, oh, just on the one side. Okay.
Our director, just because we were so excited to try them, she put one, like her two favorite prompts. She did nature and community on both sides, and it doesn't look as good. And so we just tell the parents, like, when you're drinking, just have it out. So we always turn our lids so that this side is out, but, and they do it.
Product placement is a must.
Yeah. And yeah, we lined it up with the, this Yeti so that this side wasn't as distracting, so that like one side is plain, and we chose white on purpose because it makes those Talking is Teaching prompts just really, and honestly, when you're passing out stuff that is so, I mean, our parents were like, these are so fancy. My husband was so jealous, or my kids are trying to use it. And so now they're like, yeah, I want to be part of this group. Yeah, I want to do some work.
I mean, that's great. It shows people that you respect them in the work that they do and the time that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's wonderful. What else?
Just really quick, while we have a little lull, I have to show you guys my newest baby. Let's see. Did it start? Can you see me?
No.
Oh, that's, try again. Oh, why is my camera not working? It did this to me yesterday too. I don't know why. He's not gonna be happy. Well, okay, keep.
Oh no, well, you have to send us a photo. Okay, Missy, we have about 10 minutes left.
All right. Well, we have been compiling all of your fabulous ideas, whether you've said it orally or whether you shared something in the chat. So please know that as a result of all of your participation, you all will receive a flashy new document with all of these great links and resources in them. So never fear, your time here is well spent, and we're so grateful for all of the great ideas you have put forth. And I hope that you're, even if you don't have all the answers you want right now, that you're still thinking, and this will prime the pump for you to continue to strategize about how to pivot, how to provide the best relationship building experiences for your families and your parents and your parent coalitions, so that we can keep strengthening these families out there. We do have another giveaway and perhaps a digital trick that some of you have or have not seen before. Breanne's going to pull up our screen here for a little fun giveaway.
I'm going to just tell you how cool Missy is. She's like, let's do a giveaway. I was already excited. Okay, Ashley, you want to show us something really quick before we do the giveaway? Oh,
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm like a
Oh,
toddler in show and tell. Look at my baby.
Hi,
This is Bodie.
hi, Bowie.
oh my gosh, adorable. So
he's 10 weeks.
Before we do the giveaway, because that'll be the last thing that we do, and we'll say goodbye. I wanted to let you know that if you're not aware, that we do meet the last Monday each month for networking, and we do have these sorts of conversations, and we're happy to continue this. If you've given it some more thought and you want to talk about it again, we can do that the next time we meet. The next time we're meeting is August 30th. But if you can't make that, I'm going to put my email in the chat and you can email me. All right, everybody.
I'm in there too. So
you guys, or ladies, I should say, are lucky you came, because guess what? We're giving away a book, The Power of Showing Up, How Parental Resilience Shapes Who Our Kids Become and How Their Brains Get Wired.
So you'll notice our national treasure is our movie theme for the giveaway. And we have something called Wheel of Names. Not sure if you've done it before or used it before, but you should hopefully recognize your name out there on the wheel. It's spinning. And Breanne's going to
We love a good theme. Come on, y'all. Clap your hands. Let's go. Here we go.
Let's together. Woo! Spin that wheel. Who's going to win? It's right here. Mary.
Congratulations. Mary. Is there Mary here?
Yeah, Mary was here.
Yeah.
Not here right now. Oh, there she is.
I'm here. Could
Mary, send your info to Missy. Do you guys know each other?
Yeah, spin it again, okay?
Mary wants to spin it again. Okay, that's fair. We're too connected at the hip.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right,
One
we'll
more time.
spin it
Bonus
again.
spin. You
We
thought
can
you were
have a
lucky
break.
before.
Fantastic. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, is it going to be her again? I think she's super lucky. Let me remove her.
Oh yeah, gosh, Mary, you're too lucky. Go buy a lottery ticket.
Mary.
Sometimes they play music with us too. I don't know why I didn't get the music this time.
I forgot to play the sound.
Heather D, you're up. You're the winner. Heather, if you could put your address in the chat, I will send your copy of the book out in the next day or so. And
I have just a few minutes, so you're welcome to stay and chat, or you can go use the restroom, whatever you need to do. Ladies, I always love seeing you. Thank you for joining us today.
Breanne, thank you, wonderful co-hosts and technicians back there, Rachel and Breanne.
Thank you, Rachel and Missy.
The title of the book, someone asked again, is The Power of Showing Up, and it's by Daniel J. Siegel. See everybody. Thanks for coming.